Okay, so it's official. Just 4 short months after the glorious OnePlus 7 Pro was launched, it has been replaced by its taller, stronger, sharper successor, the OnePlus 7T Pro. I know that there may not be any valid reasons to upgrade from the OnePlus 7 Pro to the 7T Pro, but it's 2 in the morning and I'm bored. It's not like I have to sleep or anything. You've seen Twilight. So here's everything you need to know about the OnePlus 7T Pro. I imagine you already know everything there is to know about the OnePlus 7 Pro, the gigantic 90Hz AMOLED display, the pop-up camera and everything. Well, the 7T Pro is basically the same thing with a few minor upgrades here and there. The display is more or less the same. It's the same 6.6-inch AMOLED panel that you saw on the OnePlus 7 Pro, still at 90Hz. So that makes the ROG Phone 2 the only phone in the market right now which has a 120Hz OLED display. The phone is still super wide and then super heavy, so mounting this on a gimbal will still be a headache. Good to know. But I don't think there was any reason to change it in the first place. I mean, it's 1440p, OnePlus is calling it the Fluid AMOLED display. It has HDR10 support and all that good stuff, so yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. The cameras are pretty same as well. In fact, they're a lot similar to what we saw on the OnePlus 7T a few weeks ago. The main camera is still a 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor, along with a 16MP ultra-wide and 8MP telephoto sensor with 3x optical zoom. That's the only difference with the 7T and the 7T Pro, because the 7T had a 12MP telephoto which could do 2x optical zoom. Not sure why they had to trade in resolution for optical zoom capability, but okay, I'll take it. What's more, the telephoto sensor now has OIS, so even while taking zoomed in shots, you don't have to worry about your hand shaking and messing up your image. There's that same macro mode which allows you to take very close-up shots of objects from distances as small as 2.5 centimeters. That's very close, and that coupled with the wide open aperture can give you some very detailed and very crisp macro shots. Even if you're just going to use this mode once in a month, it's still a pretty dope thing to have on your phone. There's also night mode, or nightscape as OnePlus likes to call it. It has now support for wide dynamic range, or WDR. It still can't quite compare with the likes of the Pixel, because the image processing on the Pixel phones is still on another level, but you can still install the Google Camera APK and have phenomenal pictures anyway. Video is still pretty much the same story. The rear camera can still do 4K at 60fps. The same cannot be said for the front camera like what we saw on the iPhone 11 series. There is still that pop-up 16MP front camera with portrait mode and all that. Nothing too fundamentally different from the OnePlus 7 Pro. What is fundamentally different is that there is no more option for a 12GB RAM smartphone. Quite weird for OnePlus, who has always been pretty hardcore with their specs, to not include a high-end version when the OnePlus 7 Pro already has one. So the base model of the successor has half the RAM as the top model of the predecessor. Quite strange. But I'm not really complaining, because Android really can't use that much RAM in the first place. 8GB is the known limit for the operating system, and anything above that is plain blind overkill. In fact, it's not even overkill, it's pointless. So I'm glad OnePlus is coming to their senses and only including 8GB RAM options, not only to reduce the cost but also to reduce the number of variants of the same phone. Speaking of variants, there's a McLaren edition coming out soon as usual, so that should be pretty exciting. And then there's a minor change with the battery, which has a slight 85mAh bump. From 4000, it's now a 4085mAh with the same Warp Charge 30T technology. Warp Charge is already leading the industry with its ridiculous speed, so I don't see any reason why OnePlus has to innovate on the same thing anytime soon. And there's also the new Gorilla Glass 6 protection on the display. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Those were the key differences between the OnePlus 7 Pro and the 7T Pro. Of course, the price has been bumped up yet again. The 7T Pro 256GB variant starts at 54,000 Indian rupees, and the McLaren edition will start at 58,999 Indian rupees. The sale starts tomorrow, so by the time you're watching this video, it's already begun at Amazon.in. What are your thoughts on the OnePlus 7T Pro? Knowing that the OnePlus 7 Pro is still a fantastic device, which one would you go for? Newcomers should definitely go for the 7T Pro, if you are going to spend that much, that is. If not, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is not that far away from the McLaren edition, or even the normal edition for that matter. Just saying. Now that I think about it, being a Galaxy Note user for the past year, I'll most likely swing for the Note 10 Plus over the 7 Pro. I will take the lower refresh rate display in exchange for the S Pen and the added features. However, if you're already on a OnePlus device and you're loving it, then you already know what you're going to get. The same experience which you have right now, just with better hardware. Anyway, that's been it for now. Check out my blog, dopetechfever.com, if you would like to read up on some articles which I write at unconventional times like this. And with that, I'll see you next time. Cheers.